You learn so much developing the technical process. It ends up coming back and feeding you new ideas.
We wanted everything in the spot to be definitely shot in camera and done practically. We thought it was neat to show an interactive installation that could actually exist in the real world.
I mean, there's something more compelling about doing something for real and actually going through the steps to engineer the solution instead of faking it.
People look at it and they don't quite understand what's happening because no one's seen this before. I mean, everyone just thinks it's post, and it's not. It's actually really advanced projection mapping.
This is a commercial for the new Audi A3 Sportback. We're working with an agency called Verba, and we were excited when Audi and Verba came to us and wanted something so progressive. You know, they kind of came with an open slate. They're inspired by Box, and they asked us for the next evolution.
Box was an internal project. It started as a technology demo, then it became an installation and ended up as a 5-minute short film. It was really about creating a digital world and realizing it in physical space. For people to consider something to be projection mapping versus just projecting, it has to be on some sort of three-dimensional surface.
The reason why the projection mapping that we do here is, the only one of its kind is because we can not only projection map on moving objects, but we can also have a moving camera, and that's all because of the robots. And so all of these things working together lend itself to really captivating visuals.
The story of the spot is an interactive installation of an Audi A3, and then a man happens upon it. Industrial robots are actually holding giant circular discs, and we're projecting on them and creating the illusion that they're actually pieces of glass, that they're lenses. And so wherever the man looks, he sees through these lenses and further discovers the technologies within and surrounding the car. So the story is broken into 4 chapters. The first is the lightweight chassis.
We wanted to treat the lens as an X-ray, so the car kind of becomes translucent, and to actually show the lightweight frame and to call it out by making it glow.
And then surrounding this, we created a structural element flickering with light and then begins to sort of float away.
You want the speed to be a little bit slower at the end. And then the cylinders on demand section, 2 cylinders will turn off to save CO2 emissions and also to conserve fuel. And so it was important for the graphics to reflect that, and that's why the front 2 largest cylinders turn off. We have these energy lines going over the car, and so when these cylinders turn off, these lines also kind of slow down. The third section is the LED headlights, Audi's famous signature eyebrow.
What this feature is basically the lights turn with the steering wheel. And so we created the illusion that the car was actually turning through turns in a tunnel. And as it does so, these beautiful lights are tracking.
3 different planes moving and kind of crossing. The last section is connectivity, which is kind of Audi's progressive technology to integrate the driver, the car, and the Audi infrastructure. And so we wanted to just make a really nice network around the car of points and stars and connection lines. And that was kind of the climax of the commercial, so we wanted to have the man in our projections as well. And so you're seeing through to the man, and he's in this world. One of the big things as the design director is I wanted to make the graphics feel physical, and so I wanted the graphics to kind of emit light. That was kind of a driving aesthetic, a rule that we kind of did all the sections through.
We received the CAD data from Audi, and we used that in order to create all of the design and motion graphics pieces. And at first we thought, oh, we're just going to use this model and project it onto these discs in time with our practical rotating car. And then it hit us that CG car would never look good enough. It would never look truly photographic. And so we decided to shoot all of the car plates and then to use the actual physical car as a base underneath our CG motion graphics to create our projected elements that would then be reprojected in time with the car and match up perfectly.
walked in, you'd see a lot of tech. To start, there's the A3 on a computer-controlled turntable. Behind that, 2 industrial robots. There's another robot holding the camera. Above is a large Fisher light, and then an array of maybe 30 other DMX-controllable lights. Back further, you see a large projection setup, and then there's our command center for controlling everything in synchronization.
And it's a very, very crazy execution with a lot of moving parts, very complex, using techniques that weren't possible even probably 3 years ago.
And step.
It's an incredibly complicated, long process, and it's rare to find a company like Audi who has a support for sort of art and technology in that way, and so it was great for us to work with them.
The sweet spot of a piece like this is the integration of all these different disciplines. Filmmakers and architects and engineers and roboticists and designers and animators. Everyone works together, and we all take our skills and we just kind of mash them together into this synchronized dance.
I think that a spot like this would resonate for Audi because it's about finding new inspiration in this crossover between design and engineering, whether it's a robot or a car or a filmmaking process. It's thinking creatively about how to solve a technical problem in a beautiful way.